more resources in regards to the solar eclipse. These are going to be included with Kelly's that we did on the last episode. And Roger's going to talk a little bit about the resources that he's been working on for NWOET.
So first off, I want to continue on one of the resources that Kelly mentioned that's in the solar eclipse book, but I really think is worth talking about. So if you've got little kids or even adults, I mean, 3 minutes or drive here to get 4 minutes, or maybe you're only, 2.5 minutes, depending on where you're at to it. That's actually a really long time to just stand there staring at the sun. So what I really, really encourage you to do, go ahead, put on the solar glasses, take a look at it, but also look at some of those craft-like activities where you can build your own pinhole camera or some of the other ways that you can look at the eclipse. And so you've got 2 or 3 or 4 activities lined up, practice them ahead of time. And so instead of saying, okay, I saw the eclipse and I stared at it for 4 minutes, you say, and we built our own camera. And by the way, do not point your cell phone at the sun unless you have a specific filter to put over your camera. And that's a whole nother story, because really, really good chance of totally destroying your cameras in your cell phone if you don't do that properly. But take a look at some of those other activities. And again, think of 2 or 3 or 4 activities that you might do with your children or even your adult get together. And it can really be fun. And again, I just love the pinhole camera or some of the other ways that you can have there. And the images you get from those, you can take pictures of with your camera. A couple other things to think about is with your camera, just take a look at what's going around you. Don't just look at the sun, but see what else is happening. What's going on with streetlights? What do you hear with the sounds of wildlife? Maybe make a movie of what's going on. And in that movie, what you're recording is what else is happening. And that can be an exciting addition to this. Finally,
I think you make a great point, Roger, because there's going to be professional photographers taking pictures of the eclipse, and they're going to have probably, a better picture than we will.
They're going to have things that are astounding. Yeah.
So you don't need to worry about capturing that part. The part that's unique to you and your experience is what's happening around you. So I think that's a really great point, Roger.
What did Jimmy, how did he look when he first saw it, and when you saw it getting darker and things like that? You mentioned the after activity, and I really, really encourage, and the videos that you have is a great resource for that. But after it finishes, your children and adults are going to have a better understanding of what's going on. If you haven't been through at least a partial solar eclipse, and many of us have, but not everyone, it's like, whoa, what did I just see? And so part of your after eclipse activities might be looking at 1 or 2 of the videos and just, oh, now I understand how the sun and the earth interacted with that. Or, the hands-on where you take an orange and an apple or a golf ball, whatever, to try some of those experiences. Definitely have an after event activity. You don't want to, okay, the eclipse is over, I'm going to get in my car, guaranteed for an unhappy situation. So pack that lunch again, kind of celebration. Isn't that cool? And, you spend the next hour, cooking hot dogs or making s'mores over a portable grill, or go to one of the many locations that is sponsoring solar eclipse activities, and just hang out there for an hour or 2, and you're going to find the traffic situation much, much better than what you just encountered. Couple more. So the solar eclipse, it's a once in a lifetime thing, unless you're going to travel the globe to find another one. But there are cool astronomy things happening every single day. And my favorite place, my go-to to find out what's happening in the sky, and I love astronomy and seeing what's going on. When I was teaching, I had an astronomy unit, and we'd get up on the roof with a pretty decent telescope and look at comets or whatever might be happening. But stardate.org. You may hear them on the radio, but they have a website where you can go anytime, and it will tell you what's happening in the sky right now. By the way, you may want to look at the archives. The March 3rd star date, it's still there, and it talked about our sun and had some really interesting information that, well, not specifically on the solar eclipse relate to it. stardate.org. It's free. I love it. And the best astronomy app, and there's many of them out there, Night Sky by Apple. It works on Apple computers and cell phones. It's the best on a cell phone. And it is just really cool. You point your camera, your cell phone at the sky, and it will identify the stars and tell you when the satellites are flying over, and just all sorts of cool things. So what to do after the solar eclipse. I really, really encourage that to be part of your planning. And, think about some activities that are going to take an hour or two, probably going to include a meal, and definitely include some education and taking a look at some of the resources like we're sharing today.
Yeah, that's really good, Roger. So, I mean, you guys got me thinking a lot here based on my districts that I have been, the big thing here is that districts are really happy that they're not going to have school that day, but they're not very happy about that they have to do 8 hours of work and turn that in as proof of whatever. So I think they're going to be super duper happy about this because they can get these resources in advance. And I do believe it's going to fit the requirements that the superintendents are asking them to do. So I think this is going to be really exciting for them. They can involve their students, and definitely some great ideas. And we can include these 2 videos in regards to the Stellar 2024 solar eclipse resources.
By the way, I wanted to mention, I forgot, there is a lunar eclipse in September. So this isn't your only chance to experience some of these things. That's like 2 a.m. in the morning. Next March, there's a really, really good lunar eclipse coming up as well. So even though most of us will never see another total solar eclipse, the lunar eclipses happen in general, typically once a year. There's a really good lunar eclipse. So keep your eyes open for that. Use the stardate.org to help you find those, and keep on going. Sorry to interrupt, Tanya, but I realized I'd forgotten to mention the next eclipses that most of us will have an opportunity to see.
Yeah, no worries. So all the resources that you have witnessed today will be on our resource page on the link that you see on the screen right now. And any other additional resources that we can share with you in regards to the solar eclipse that will help you out with your students or your understanding of what's going to happen here on April 8th.
What an exciting time to be living in terms of our natural sciences and our solar system.
Exactly. And we'll all meet back here in 2099 to discuss the resources then for that eclipse.
All right.
Again, thank you, Kelly, for joining us. It's always a pleasure working with you. And like you said, the partnership between WBGU PBS and NWOET is one that we value. So we really appreciate your input and your help in conducting this vlog today. So thank you, everybody. And we will see you next week for another intriguing episode on integration of technology. Thank you.